Hello, this is the third letter of the Russian alphabet, V. The first two are B. A, B, V. The first three letters of the Russian alphabet. You can see then them A, B, V in the lower left corner here of this presentation. Letter V, don't confuse it with Latin alphabet B. It is basically the same letter, and I'm going to show you a little bit more than usually. I'm going to show you the expression вишневое варенье. Вишневое варенье. You have here the pronunciation, blue color in square parentheses. Вишневое варенье. Cherry jam. You see the translation. The second word will be vishnya, cherry, vishnya, and as you see they are relatives, this word and the first expression, because I decided to show you Russian adjective. So the second word, vishnya, cherry, in Spanish, cereza, and the first expression is adjective from vishnya, adjective from cherry, вишневое, варенье. This adjective defines what? Варенье, jam, cherry jam. Варенье, in Russian language, neuter gender noun. That's why the adjective is agreeing with the gender and has this ending. Вишневое варенье. Cherry jam, in Spanish, marmelada. It's like in English marmalade. Marmelada de cerezas. Marmelada de cerezas, Spanish. And now let's look at to the right, and I'm going to explain you Russian adjective. Once you have a very good idea, you will be recognizing it in the context, in the Russian context, and it's a big help. The same as in Spanish and in French languages, Russian adjective coordinates with Russian noun in gender. In Spanish and French, I already told you, they have only masculine and feminine gender to nouns, but in Russian we have three of them, same as in German, three genders of the noun, masculine, feminine, and neuter. And you see here on the extreme right side, highlighted with bright yellow, I'm showing you always will be the same order of genders. Should we talk about nouns or adjectives, it's very convenient to have always the same order. Masculine gender, feminine, and neuter, and plural. The last is plural. So always you will have four forms of the adjectives by those endings. It's not difficult. Adjective goes in front in Russian language, in front of the described noun. So masculine gender, I'm showing you highlighted yellow. Please look at the yellow on the right. Highlights, I'm showing you four personal pronouns. It's easier how we look at the genders. Okay, masculine gender, on, replaced by on. It is as if in English he. But I remind you, it has nothing to do with animated and not animated. You know, it is just a noun. It's a grammatical category. It can be a person and it can be a thing. Okay. For example, stol in Russian language is masculine gender, but in Spanish language, mesa is feminine gender. So this is how we genders has nothing to do with things or people. So masculine gender, on, personal pronoun. If you need to replace, you will be replacing in Russian on, as if in English you would say he. yes, on. Feminine gender, yellow color, blue writing on yellow background, Anna. Please stress on the second syllable. As you see, the first is O, letter O. However, I told you that the big major rule of Russian pronunciation is when O, vowel O is in non-stressed position, it is always A. Otherwise, you will have strong accent. Okay, so here we have basically written Ona, but you don't pronounce Ona, you pronounce Ana, Ana, because the first O is not stressed. Ana means she, gender. So she, we can replace feminine gender nouns. For example, lampa, lamp will be feminine gender, a lamp. Okay. The third one is neuter gender, ano. Examples very easy will be окно in Russian language, window is neuter gender, кольцо, ring is neuter gender. Okay, so two examples for you. As for animated, something live will be, you know, being, monster, чудовище, you know, person, human being only can be on, he or she, Anna. Human being cannot be neuter gender. Only like monster, you know, being, unknown, those, you know, of not real world can be a few words, but basically all of them are objects. Or events, or like a holiday, you know, something like that. So we have one more time, we have three genders here, singular. Those of these three were singular. On, he, она, we are looking at the yellow now, она, she, оно is something like it, okay, оно. Again, we stress on the last O, and we pronounce O, but the first is not stressed, so I pronounce A, оно. This is how we pronounce, оно. For example, if you have to replace варенье, which is the first our expression here, варенье, джем, оно, so you say it is sweet, оно сладкое. You know, you want to replace with pronoun, and this is a pronoun for neuter gender. And the last one is plural. Plural is any combination on, она, only masculine together, only feminine together, masculine, feminine in any combination will be они, the same thing for people, the same thing for things, always plural pronoun will be они. So actually in this lecture you already will know from this third person, singular and plural pronouns of the Russian language, personal pronouns. I will repeat them. Он, he, она, she, оно, it, они, they. And here we have, by these genders, examples of this adjective, which I am giving you as a first word, the first expression, вишневое варенье, cherry jam, вишневое. And the first masculine, I'm giving you example here. Look at the right side, please, where our yellow personal pronouns. Вишневый сад, сад, more words you will know from this lecture. Sad in Russian is garden. You see the translation here, cherry garden. Вишневый сад, or in Spanish, jardín de cerezas. Jardín de cerezas. Вишневый сад. Sad is masculine. I already told you, major rule is if Russian noun finishes with consonant, no vowel, then regularly it will be masculine gender. Basically the same as in Spanish. And sad, so sad is, you see, very easy word, only one syllable. There are, no problem where to stress because it's only one syllable, one vowel, and you pronounce sad. Sad. Вишневый сад, cherry garden. What is interesting here that the ending of the adjective is masculine ending. for English speakers who start studying Russian, and not only for those who start, the difficulty in pronunciation is this ending вишневый. Imagine that you protrude your lower jaw a little bit, protrude, forward, and pronounce For that, you don't open your mouth as for vowel a, don't open. For o, don't open. For u, don't open. E, a little bit like for e, but actually you don't do anything with your mouth. You just kind of breathe out the air. I have their lecture on my Zoe California channel, YouTube, and there is lecture especially for B, and people like that lecture. I guess it's a good lecture. B. I explain this sound because it is difficult. English speakers don't understand how do we pronounce this but we need this. This is a vowel as you say and you're not familiar with these letters yet, but listen how you pronounce вишневый. It is a vowel, and we will see this vowel in a number of personal pronouns, ты, вы, они, in 3 of them, okay? So we will soon be familiar with them, okay? Okay, so вишневый сад, вишневый, 3 syllables. One more thing. This is a kind of extended lecture because I have quite a few things I'm giving you. Вишневый, one more thing. Вишневый, in the second syllable, we see 2 dots. In Russian language, regularly, we don't have anything on the top. Exactly in this adjective, masculine adjective, вишневый, cherry, we have 2 things which we possibly can have on the top of the letters in Russian language. And those 2 are 2 dots which only go on yo. This is vowel yo. This is ye and yo. Ye and yo. Ye, no dots. Yo, the same letter, only dots, makes it yo. Вишневый. And the last y, it is I, краткое, we call I, short, and the shortness is checked on the top with that little bird, These are only 2 things, and they are right here. No other extra, like in Spanish we have tilde, we call tilde, or accents we don't have in Russian. We may show accent for students, written accent, inclined, like forward / inclined line on the top of vowel, but regularly not, you don't. So I'm showing you here in the masculine adjective, I'm showing you 2 dots, вишневый, and this is the pronunciation, and I'm showing also it to you in red color in our first expression, вишневое варенье, cherry jam, yo. However, please remember, in Russian books, in Russian writing, in Russian, newspapers, regularly you will not see these 2 dots on the letter yo. It is letter yo. We have to know it. We have to know what to pronounce, because if you pronounce вишневый, it's mistake. So Russian people know all letters yo. They know, In older, 1 century old, in our poets, classical poets, sometimes they have some adjectives which we Russians, we can doubt, yo or ye, because they are old forms, but modern language we know. Okay, so this one, let's look at the second example here, feminine. Look at the yellow color, feminine, gender. Example, вишневая машина. Машина. You see transliteration here, so you know how to pronounce. Вишневая машина, cherry color car. In English language, usually you call it, in North American culture, you call it burgundy color car. In Russian, we can call it also Bordeaux, the way we call the wine. By the way, both words here, burgundy and Bourgogne in Spanish, and Burdeos in Spanish. Both of them mean it is just from general knowledge of the world, the district area in France with a famous, most famous French wine. Burgundy, Bourgogne, Bordeaux, and in Russian Bordeaux. I'm not showing that word here because the other popular name of this color will be cherry color, so we use it. I'm showing only that one, but actually we use that too. What here is translation. Okay, so in this case, cherry color car, вишневая машина, and on purpose I am not putting for you here 2 dots. So you, from the beginning, you would be already aware, aware. I want to develop your awareness of all major points of Russian reading and pronunciation. So this is feminine gender. If we need to replace that car, we will say она, she. We will replace with она, personal pronoun она. Машина. Машина is the car in Russian language. И вишневая has я, always complete vowel pronounced for the feminine ending of the adjective я. For example, русская, я русская, I'm Russian, русская. Yes, Russian vowels do not have long or short vowels. They are all the same length, but they are all completely pronounced. If you swallow them, you are going to appear without a syllable or something. Okay, because one vowel can make a syllable, so they are normal vowels. We have to pronounce them. Вишневая, as you see, 4 vowels in this adjective. I pronounce all of them. Вишневая. And я will be very frequent ending of a feminine gender adjective. The next one, Spanish. Spanish was here el coche de color borgoña. El coche, automobile they have. Y coche, one of the words for the car in Spanish. The color, of the color, they say, of color. Borgoña, the name of the color, Borgoña or Burdeos. Burdeos. The next gender is neuter. Neuter, оно. Оно. If we need to replace вишневое варенье, if we need to replace, not to repeat many times, few times, вишневое варенье уже на столе, the cherry jam is already on the table, you prepare for the tea or something. You replace it. Оно уже на столе. It is already on the table. So you say it is оно. You replace оно with neuter gender personal pronoun. Again, I'm not putting here 2 dots, so you already at least will know one adjective and you will recognize it in the context next time you see it, okay? Вишневое варенье. And this is our first word here in this presentation. And this is the expression consisting of adjective and noun and cherry jam, marmelada de cerezas. And the last one is plural. Plural example, I'm showing you not to confuse you a lot because it is a lot of information here. So I'm showing you the same example as I show in the singular masculine. I'm showing you сады. Один сад, one is garden, сад. On the top for masculine singular example on. Они, they, cherry gardens, сады. The plural nominative case, сады. Это что? Это сады. What is this? What are they? They are gardens, сады. So this is nominative plural, сады. And we have to agree our adjective for that plural. Вишневые. Вишневые. If you look at masculine singular, you see вишневый, the same vowel, a little bit kind of protruded, maybe lower jaw, just relax your mouth, don't make o, a, u, Okay, so вишневые. Вишневые. This will be very popular plural ending of many adjectives, thousands of adjectives, okay? Вишневые, everything pronounced, сады, cherry, gardens, jardines de cerezas in Spanish. Jardines de cerezas in Spanish language. I will remind you that J pronounced as H in front of vowels, in front of the vowels, and here this rule we can see. Okay, very good. So I explained you Russian adjective. I have lectures there on Russian adjective. Look at them, and if you know these basics, you will be very well, equipped to meet Russian adjectives next time. Because on the top of this, we are going to have cases. They are not as difficult, but they take a lot of kind of practice. So this is kind of nice here that I'm showing. So the second word was vishnya. The so to say the root word of this adjective vishnyovoy, vishnyovoye. Vishnya is cherry singular. As you see, it is feminine gender Anna. If you want to replace vishnya, we are looking in the center of the presentation right now in the picture of cherry, and vishnya Anna. We use this word in plural too, vishny. We can use as a collective using singular form vishnya. When we make that gem, we make it from very, very tasty vishnya. Cherry, in Spanish, cereza. Already I pronounced that a few times. The third word here, vilka. Vilka is fork in English and tenedor in Spanish. In Spanish, I will remind you, when we have R ending of the word, the word will always have stress on the last syllable. Tenedor. Tenedor, tener is to have. Tenedor, it's kind of the holder. Oh, we can perceive it this way. Spanish word. Vilka, V-I-L-K-A. Vilka. The last word is volk. Very easy word, because you already see letter L in vilka. In the fork, you see the same L-K, the same two consonants, L-K. And the word volk is very easy, because it has only one vowel, very clearly pronounced O. Everything pronounced very clearly, V-O-L-K, volk. This word in all three languages has four letters. In English, wolf, and in Spanish, lobo. And in Russian and in Spanish, it is of masculine gender. Regularly, when we name the animal, we would use masculine gender. Of course, the female of the species, yes, and we have special word for that. Looks like this, but with the ending. But actually, this is the name of the animal. Okay, volk. I will repeat our words. The first one, vishnyovaye, vishnyovaye. 4 syllables, please. Vishnyovaye, варенье, vishnyovaye. The stress, I forgot to tell you important thing, that if you see the dots, which you seldom see them, but still if you see them, you are going to always stress on those dots, always. If you see dots, stress will be on the letter yo, on the vowel yo. So vishnyovaye is the stress. Let's look one more time at the ending of the first phrase, vishnyovaye. O, the pre-last vowel O, but it is not stressed. That's why we pronounce a-ye. Let's not confuse with aya. Look at the car on the right. The car, the female ending, feminine ending for adjective will be always a-ya. Ya, a-ya, a-ya. Always. And here we have neuter gender. Gender very different, okay? Vishnyovaye. So actually, when it is about the terminación in Spanish, about the ending of the adjective, of the Russian adjective, okay? It is big difference if you pronounce ya, or you pronounce ye. Because the first one gives you feminine gender, the second one gives you neuter gender, And we don't confuse genders. If I speak Spanish and I confuse sometimes those two genders, because in Russian they belong to different genders, it's kind of very funny. My students can make fun, of me. They are laughing. And so we don't want that, so we try to remember, okay? So вишнёвое, o, not stressed, I pronounce a, but it is neuter gender, варенье, оно. If we want to replace with neuter, look at the yellow, оно is neuter gender, вишнёвое варенье. Вишнёвое варенье, cherry jam. Marmelada de cerezas. Вишня, вишня, 2 syllables, вишня, cherry. Cherry, berry, cherry, you know. Cherry, cereza, feminine gender in Russian and in Spanish. The third word, vilka, and in Spanish, tenedor. And as we see here, 2 different genders. In Russian is feminine gender, vilka. Fork is feminine in Russian, vilka. And tenedor, as we see, is masculine in Spanish. Fork, no gender in English. And the last word is volk, volk. Volk is wolf, lobo in Spanish. The first 3 letters are B, V. Thank you very much. I hope you liked the lecture and benefited from it.